Which is clean the turf. Judkins, first down and more, taking on all comers. Judkins, unleashed, touchdown. He's out.
What a pop.
Cleveland's got it. Just a massive hit.
After what seemed like a never-ending string of losses, the Cleveland Browns finally secured a much-needed victory. And it was a win that came with a mix of relief, frustration, and hard-earned pride. On paper, it looked like a team win, but when you dive deeper into the details, it becomes clear that this game was defined by two main factors: the defense stepping up in monumental moments and the heroic, almost otherworldly performance by running back Judkins. But despite the win, there were glaring issues that simply couldn't be overlooked, most notably Coach Stefanski's controversial decision to stick with Dillon Gabriel as quarterback, even when it was abundantly clear that a change was needed. From the opening whistle, it was apparent that this game was going to be a hard-fought battle. Both the Browns and the Dolphins chose a run-heavy strategy, opting to wear down each other's defenses with relentless ground attacks. The Browns leaned heavily on their running game, with Judkins as the centerpiece. And if there's one thing we can say about this game, it's that Judkins certainly lived up to the hype. Judkins wasted no time in making his presence felt. On his very first run, he found a huge gap in the Dolphins' defense, powered through the scrimmage line, and bulldozed his way to the end zone for an early touchdown. The crowd erupted, and the energy in Cleveland's corner was palpable. But that was just the beginning of his incredible performance. Throughout the game, Judkins seemed to slice through the Dolphins' defense with ease, finding running lanes and breaking tackles like it was a routine. His ability to evade tacklers, read the holes in the defense, and churn out yards was nothing short of impressive. Judkins ended the game with 3 touchdown runs, each one showcasing his explosive speed, power, and determination. At times, it felt like he was carrying the entire team on his back. But despite Judkins' heroics, there was one major issue that could not be ignored: Dillon Gabriel's play under center. While it was clear that the Browns' offense was designed around the run game, there were still times when Gabriel's ability to execute the passing game was desperately needed. Unfortunately, Gabriel was not up to the task. From the very beginning of the game, it was evident that Gabriel was struggling. The Dolphins' defense made it a point to put pressure on him, and Gabriel was simply unable to respond. He was sacked multiple times throughout the game, and even when he had time in the pocket, he failed to make the key throws necessary to keep the offense moving. His passes were often inaccurate, and he seemed flustered in the face of consistent pressure. As the game went on, the offense continued to stall. The Browns' run game was doing its part, but there were moments when the passing attack was needed to balance things out, especially when the Dolphins started to adjust and load the box to stop the run. Yet, despite these struggles, Coach Stefanski made the decision to keep Dillon Gabriel in the game, and this decision raised some serious questions. Fans in the stands and those watching at home were clamoring for a change, hoping to see Shedeur come in and bring some fresh energy to the offense. This was the perfect situation for Shedeur to come in, with the running game firing on all cylinders and the defense playing lights out. This was the kind of game where Shedeur's poise, playmaking, and ability to keep his cool under pressure could have made a real difference. His ability to read defenses, move the pocket, and extend plays with his legs would have complemented the strong ground game and potentially opened up more opportunities for the offense to move the ball. But instead, Coach Stefanski stuck with Gabriel, and the offense never found its rhythm. It's hard to understand why Stefanski chose to remain so steadfast in his decision to keep Gabriel in. The signs were clear that Gabriel wasn't the answer, yet Stefanski opted to ride with him through thick and thin. It's possible that Stefanski didn't want to shake Gabriel's confidence, or that he felt some loyalty to the starting quarterback. But regardless of the reasoning, the fact remains that it was a missed opportunity. The circumstances were ripe for a quarterback change, yet the coaching staff failed to make it. But even with Gabriel's struggles and Stefanski's questionable decision-making, the defense truly emerged as the unsung heroes of this victory. While the offense sputtered and struggled to find any sort of rhythm, the defense played with the kind of urgency and aggression that completely shut down the Dolphins' offensive attack. They made sure that every time the Dolphins got close to making a play, They were there to shut it down. They created turnovers, pressured the quarterback, and kept the Dolphins from ever really gaining momentum. It wasn't a perfect performance, but it was a gritty, determined effort that kept the Browns in the game when it would have been so easy for them to fold. The standout player on defense was none other than Myles Garrett. Garrett was an absolute nightmare for the Dolphins, causing havoc all over the field. He constantly pressured the quarterback, got into the backfield, and disrupted any offensive rhythm the Dolphins hoped to establish. He was the leader of the defense and played with a relentless motor, making sure that every opportunity the Dolphins had to capitalize on was snuffed out. If not for Garrett and his defensive teammates, this game could have easily gotten away from the Browns. But thanks to their relentless effort, the Dolphins never got going. In fact, it was Garrett's relentless pursuit and his ability to disrupt the game that ultimately sealed the victory for the Browns. He was a game changer, and his leadership on the defensive line was exactly what the Browns needed. Without Garrett's impact, there's no way the Browns would have left this game with a win. Despite the defense's heroics, however, there's no ignoring that the Browns' offense could have been so much more effective with a better quarterback performance. Dillon Gabriel's inability to make the necessary throws or execute key plays put the entire offense at a disadvantage. His struggles meant that the Browns were relying almost entirely on the run game to carry them. And while Judkins was more than up to the task, this team cannot afford to rely on just one aspect of the offense to get by. If there's one takeaway from this game, it's that the Browns cannot continue to make excuses for poor quarterback play. While the defense and Judkins were able to bail the team out this time, there's no guarantee that the Browns can continue to get by with a stagnant passing attack. With their playoff hopes on the line, it's time for the coaching staff to make a tough decision and seriously consider bringing in Shedeur Sanders to give the offense a new spark. The run game and defense can only take the team so far. As we look ahead, the question remains, can the Browns continue to rely on the defense and the run game, or is it time to make a real change at quarterback? The defense is playing at an elite level, and Judkins has proven that he can carry the team when needed. But without a strong, consistent quarterback to lead the offense, it's hard to see the Browns as legitimate contenders. The decision to stick with Gabriel may have worked this time, but in the long run, it might cost the team when they face tougher opponents. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Was Stefanski's decision to stick with Gabriel the right one? Or did he miss an opportunity to inject some fresh energy with Shedeur Sanders? Could a quarterback change have turned the tide earlier in the game? Or did the defense and Judkins do enough to earn this victory on their own? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The Browns are on the right path, but if they want to contend for bigger things, the quarterback situation has to be addressed sooner rather than later. Let's talk about it.